should think not.
Stop, she'll see. Whatever will they think?
There's been a lot of buzz about the new storyline for the upcoming season, but here's a twist. Bridgerton Season 4 might finally pull off something it couldn't with Daphne or Anthony's stories. And honestly, if it skips the time jump from the books, Benedict's story could end up feeling a bit off. So, let's dive into everything we know so far about Season 4. Let's kick things off with why we think Season 4 can finally do what it couldn't with Daphne or Anthony. Now that filming for Season 4 is underway, it's super important the show doesn't repeat the same issues we saw with characters like Daphne and Anthony. Based on the book series, Bridgerton follows the love lives of the 8 Bridgerton siblings, and after debuting on Netflix in 2020, the show has been a hit ever since. Each season focuses on a different sibling, with Season 1 about Daphne and Season 2 about Anthony. But in Season 3, the show took a detour and focused on Colin and Penelope instead of following the book order. Season 4 is set to dive into Benedict's romance with Sophie, but fans are wondering if Colin and Penelope will face the same treatment as Daphne and Anthony, who didn't get the attention they deserved. The big issue with Seasons 2 and 3 is that they didn't really build on the past season's romance as expected. Sure, each season centers on a different sibling, but in the books, all the siblings still have important roles, even if the focus isn't on them. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case in Seasons 2 and 3. In Season 2, we didn't get to see much of Daphne and Simon's story because Rege-Jean was missing, and Daphne barely appeared in Season 3 even though she played a key role in Colin and Penelope's book. Anthony and Kate were around in Season 3, but they didn't get much screen time, which felt like a missed opportunity. Even though Jonathan Bailey's schedule was packed, it was a bit of a letdown that the head of the Bridgerton household was barely seen, and Kate could have been featured more on her own. One thing we're sure of is that Season 4 has to avoid repeating the same issues it had with Daphne and Anthony when it comes to Colin and Penelope. Colin and Penelope need to stay active in the story. In the last couple of seasons, the leads from previous seasons have mostly been pushed to the sidelines, but this can't happen with Colin and Penelope. While it's been frustrating to see Daphne and Anthony fall into the background, Penelope is a major character in the show because of her role as Lady Whistledown. Season 3 hinted that Penelope's story is far from over, especially since she's still writing, even if she's moved on from her Lady Whistledown persona. This alone means her storyline deserves a strong presence in Season 4. With characters like Francesca and Eloise heading off to Scotland at the end of Season 3, there's actually more space to give other siblings, like Colin and Penelope, as well as Anthony, Kate, and their new baby, the screen time they deserve. It's still up in the air that the Bridgerton siblings will return in Season 4, so we might see a smaller cast. While the main focus needs to be Benedict's love story with Sophie, the show would be missing out if it didn't keep Colin and Penelope's storylines in the mix. So, here's what we mean by saying that Season 4 has to keep the time jump from the books to make Benedict's story work. Fans were excited when it was announced that Yaren Ha from Dune Prophecy would be playing Sophie, Benedict's love interest, as everyone gears up for the new season. But just like in the book, Benedict and Sophie's story isn't just a romance, it's about their own personal journeys. In An Offer from a Gentleman, there's a key time jump that Bridgerton needs to keep in Season 4 to let Benedict's character grow as it should. In the book, Benedict first meets Sophie, an earl's illegitimate daughter turned servant, at a masquerade ball thrown by his mother. The finale of Season 3 hinted at this event when Benedict and his sister Eloise talk about attending Violet's big society event, where Benedict famously plans to dodge every eligible lady. But in true Cinderella style, he meets a masked lady in silver who changes everything. After their initial encounter, they're kept apart for 2 years, time that's crucial for Benedict's growth. During this separation, Benedict realizes he wants something deeper, especially after his Season 3 fling with Lady Tilly, which helped him explore his own independence and boundaries. Tilly even suggested a committed relationship, but Benedict turned it down, feeling he wasn't ready to settle. He wanted to keep exploring life on his own terms, which wouldn't make sense if he suddenly fell for someone else right after. The 2-year gap gives him the space he needs to keep discovering himself before he reconnects with Sophie, which, if handled right, would add depth to his journey. Season 4 needs to honor Benedict's current ideals and give him space to evolve naturally. His artistic side, which we haven't seen much of since art school, might surface with Sophie's encouragement, mirroring the support Penelope and Colin give each other in their own creative pursuits. Plus, Sophie's own values and background play a huge role in their dynamic. She refuses to be his mistress because of her own experiences as an illegitimate child. Bridgerton can make their relationship something truly impactful by weaving Benedict's ideals, art, and character arc into the love story. In addition, Bridgerton showrunner Jess Brownell has hinted at an exciting shift from the books. Brownell, who takes over from series creator Chris Van Dusen in Season 3, teased plans for exploring queer love stories in future seasons. Season 3 will focus on the friends to lovers arc between Penelope and Colin, but fans are already speculating about which characters will take the lead in upcoming seasons and how closely the show will stick to the source material. In an interview with Refinery29 Australia, Brownell was asked if Bridgerton would feature queer main characters, to which she responded, "Absolutely." She shared that since Bridgerton is about exploring the many forms of love, it felt right to highlight queer love and joy. She also noted that Bridgerton's fantasy setting gives them the freedom to push back against historical realities of the 1800s, making space for a more inclusive narrative. Brownell's comments hint at a major shift from Julia Quinn's novels, where LGBTQ+ characters are not prominently featured. So far, Bridgerton has mostly followed the books in this regard. The show introduced some subtle representation in Season 1 when Benedict befriends artist Sir Henry Granville, who is in a marriage of convenience so he can secretly spend time with Lord Weatherby. This storyline has sparked speculation that the show might give Benedict a male love interest, deviating from his book romance with Sophie. Brownell's remarks make it seem increasingly possible that Benedict's arc could evolve in this direction, which would mark a big step for inclusion on the show and offer a fresh take for fans of the books. Since Benedict's love story has already been postponed, many expect Season 4 to feature him in the lead. However, Brownell mentioned queer love stories unfolding across the next couple of seasons, indicating LGBTQ+ relationships might be woven into Season 3, Season 5, or both. Regardless of the timing, Bridgerton's openness to diverging from the books in such a meaningful way adds a new layer of excitement for the show's future. And that's a wrap for today's video, folks. We hope you've thoroughly enjoyed this content. If it resonated with you, please take a moment to show your support by giving this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more amazing content. Your feedback is invaluable, so don't forget to leave a comment below sharing what impressed you the most in this video. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.